With villainous power comes heroic responsibility, or at least we hope so, cause this bunch sure is filled with some insane power. Number 10. Stumbling first into the list, we have Kofuku from Noragami. Kofuku, also known as Kofuku Ebisu, is a goddess of poverty in the anime series Noragami. She's cute, pink, and is a bit of a goofball. Well, maybe a whole lot of goofball. Despite this, however, she is a force to be feared, and is even recognized by the gods of the heavens in this series. This is all because of her power of misfortune, which causes bad omens to follow her. Now, this might sound run-of-the-mill, but the strength of this power lies in its ability to reach even gods and Shinki. Kofuku can even bring misfortune to the 7 gods of fortune, who are known to bring good luck. And while losing your crypto investments does sound like a bad time, misfortune does not end there. Kofuku's ability is strong enough to push both god and man to the absolute brink, and ultimately death if she hangs around long enough. So no matter how much you find this ball of pain cute, you might want to stay clear, and besides, with the always grumpy looking Daikoku floating around, Kofuku won't really be needing you anytime soon.
そういうことじゃなくて、あの時ヤトちゃん休んでたでしょ?
Number 9.
じゃあ今回は特別コースで行こう。
Now, accepting patience, we have Akiko Yosano from Bungou Stray Dogs. Every once in a while, every human has a dream of wanting to be strapped down and messed up. Well, that's exactly what you get when you're on the operating table of Akiko Yosano. The sole physician for the armed detective agency, Dr. Yosano has her work cut out for her, as she constantly has to treat agents who go toe-to-toe with mafia members and supervillains on a daily basis. And while you may think you'd still want to sign up for the job, since it could lead you straight into the gloved hands of a hot mommy, Dr. Yosano heals by way of her supernatural power. Thou shalt not die. What is this epic-sounding power, you may ask? Well, it's an ability to heal anybody, including herself, to full health, as long as they're at least half dead, that is. So if by chance you were, I don't know, a soldier during a war, no matter how many times you get shot and blown to pieces, you'd still have to get up the next day and soldier on. It's a good thing she ended up with a good bunch down the road, but I don't know, personally, I'd still lay on that table. Don't judge.
目が見えるぞ。足が、俺の足がある。弱いから怪我すんだよ。さっさと前線に戻んな。君こそ我らが神。
Number 8.
貴族最高。プライドあるから支払いも確実だしね。その上8分32秒の新記録。
相手の持ち時間も少なかったしな。それにぬるいんだよ、貴族って。
Moving forward in the board, we have Lelouch from Code Geass. While he may appear as a simple high school boy, Lelouch is in fact burdened with glorious purpose and great intelligence. He's pretty much like me, really. There's a big difference though, and that's in Lelouch's ability to bend any living person to his will. With just some eye contact and some sweet words, he can make any person follow his command. Well, just once at least, unless it's cancelled by some similar power. Oh, and there's a maximum distance he has to cover, but reflections work too. Basically, there's a whole lot of rules to this thing, but whatever someone's brain can do, he can ask of. Lelouch is also wicked smart, with an intelligence that can rival Goku's power level, and we haven't even talked about his custom not-so Gundam. If he wanted to, Lelouch could pretty much rule the world. Thankfully for us though, he has people values way more than power, so that definitely won't happen, right?
知らないのか。なら、真実を知ってる奴は誰だ。調べていたんだろう、あの日のことを。
皇帝陛下に命じられて、シュナイゼル兄様が遺体を運び出した。
Number 7. Slicing through the ranks, we have Rory Mercury from Gate. Sporting a giant ribbon over her head, no other character on this list waves the Lolita flag more than Rory Mercury. With her small petite frame adorned with a black and red dress, you'd think she's but a young girl heading to some freaky convention. Little would you know, this small girl is a literal demigod and apostle to a god of death, war, and violence. Able to cut down waves of soldiers like they're mere weeds, she's not only a powerful enemy, but also a horrifying presence. Along with how easily she wields her giant halberd, the last thing you'd see as you face her is a face of pure ecstasy. Due to her divine nature, the death of fallen warriors leads to their spirits passing through Rory, acting almost like an aphrodisiac. She's a good soul at heart though, only being violent to those who both deserve and sign up for it. That's good news for us common folk and not so common good folk like Yoji Itami, the MC of Gate. Sadly, we can never be in his shoes.
窮屈なんだよ。どいてくれ。羨ますぎます隊長。いいから降りろ。
あれ？
あ、だこれ照準に触るな。触んなって。
Number 6.
暴食スキルが発動。なんだったんだ、今のは。
Edging further into the list, we have Fate Graphite from Berserk of Gluttony. Speaking of getting turned on from killing people, Fate Graphite is the owner of the Gluttony skill and wielder of the evolving blade grade. While looking like any other MC from a fantasy anime, Fate is even worse than you think. Originally, he was part of the annoying niche of characters who get bullied by other obnoxious characters, but thankfully for us, he awakened to the secret skill Gluttony, giving him awesome powers. So as long as he kills. The ability to steal the skills and stats of those that he kills may sound epic if not monstrous, but it also means that if he should ever stop killing, he himself would fall into madness and eventually death.
格闘スキルのアーツ寸慶だ。食らったら鎧を貫いて骨と内臓がぐちゃぐちゃだ。気をつけろ。
And that is an issue, especially since he has a waifu named Roxy Hart, who he simps for. After all, insanity and insatiable bloodlust are not a very nice things to have when around people you care about. In the end, the road can only be lonely and long as Fate goes on to grow ever stronger.
そろそろ帰らないと叱られるなと。
フェイ？
はい。
叱られるときは一緒ですよ。
わかりました。付き合います。
Those anime heroes weren't so bad. Pretty cool if you ask me. How about you? What villainous sounding power would you want in real life? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Oh, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us a lot. Number 5.
みゆき。それは口にしても仕方のないことなんだ。分かっているだろう。
申し訳ございません。
Next down the firing line, we have Tatsuya from Irregular at Magic High School. To those who know him, it's only inevitable to find him here on this list about villainous powers. While Tatsuya Shiba seems like an average Japanese student, he is also regarded as one of the weeds in school, talentless and a waste of space. Well, let's just say you shouldn't call him that in front of his bro-con sister, because for his sister and those who know of his true identity, being a weed is a label that couldn't be further from the truth.
Miyuki, なぜお前が焦る？
いえ、焦ってなどおりませんよ。
そしてなぜに疑問形？
どれだけ優れているか。
Tatsuya is actually one of the strongest anime characters in existence, and some would even say capable of beating the likes of Goku and Saitama all in 1 second. But in all seriousness, he is pretty strong. For one, he can dismantle anything that exists down to the molecular level with his decomposition ability. Part of this ability is Material Burst, which involves breaking down molecules into pure energy to create essentially a nuclear blast. Tatsuya uses this on screen in the anime only twice, but the repercussions and reputation he got from this are driven home a lot. Now, in reality, it wouldn't be any different. The concept of a singular person able to call upon a nuclear blast free of charge is quite a scary thought. It's a good thing he has a beautiful sister with him to keep him in check. Oh, by the way, he also has Jesus powers. Number 4. Now that the blood is flowing, let's move on to Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. Wielding pistols that fire anti-tank rounds, the no-life king Alucard is the last opponent you want to see before you. With every power you can imagine a vampire to have, the ultimate undead also brings with more than 4 million souls. Usually that means he's capable of not dying 4 million times. But if he so happens to release his full power with level 0 restraints, he can summon all the souls at once to fight for him. That's the size of an average country. But instead of everyday civilians, it's an army of soldiers and monstrosities from various eras. Whether he's out of blood or just having a chat with his hot mommy Integra, he always struts around with an all-black suit and red overcoat that would put fear into any runway. He also has a comically large hat.
特に吸血鬼に関してならそう。誰よりもエキスパートですよ。
いい夜だ。
Truly a villainous presence, he really has no real attachment to mortal life, as seen by him non-consensually putting a bullet into our lead girl Sarah's right at the start. But he does slowly develop a heart over the course of the series. Large in part is Sarah's, but also mommy Integra, who he follows with absolute loyalty. Can't blame him, I guess.
吸血鬼だと。
そうです。対吸血鬼のエキスパートが人間では心もとない。
Number 3.
我々は人ではない。放たれた銃弾だ。なんだ。なんだ。あの出方は。
Rattling around next, we have Corpse God from Dead Mount Death Play. Reincarnated into the body of a normal boy named Poka Shinomiya, Corpse God brings over immense powers of necromancy to the modern world. With the nature of his ability, he is able to communicate with and conjure undead among his many other abilities, including physical boosts. But the real overpoweredness of this comes from the fact that, as a necromancer, he is not limited to his own magical reserves.
ダメだよ。銃弾が怯えちゃ。俺たちアガクラに劣らないって証明できなかったじゃない。
Naturally, as the Earth is way less magical than the fantasy world he came from, there isn't much magic around to manipulate. Corpse God, though, is not limited to this, as he's able to channel the souls of the dead as spirit energy, essentially having unlimited power. A true villainous might. But thankfully, all he really wants is a peaceful life. And that's just bad news to those who would get in the way of that.
そうですか。怪しい。真新しく書かれたものに見えるけど、さすがに火吹き虫とまで関連づけるのは短絡的？いや、油断はできない。
Number 2.
やはり生きていたか、七つの大罪。
Entering our minds next, we have the Gowther from the 7 Deadly Sins. Appearing as a cute girl with an aloof personality, Gowther is actually a cute boy with an aloof personality. Although, while sounding detached, Gowther is actually very interested in people, especially their emotions. It would be better to think of him as an alien creature, and his powers even reflect that. Similar to Lelouch, Gowther is able to control people's minds, but with a fantasy spin.
俺の父ちゃんと母ちゃんは旅人だったんだ。でも二人とも数年前バーニャの村に立ち寄った時、流行り病で死んじまった。
That basically means he's much powerful and with way fewer limits. He can communicate telepathically, take control of a person's movement, and even alter their memory. Going back to his aloofness, while he is curious, he cares little for people's boundaries. He plays around with the minds of others, even children. Also, he brainwashed this one character into thinking they were lovers for like a pretty long time. So while the call of femboy is strong, it'd be hard to know if that call is really coming from you. Best stay clear of mind-altering bad boys.
俺の父ちゃんと母ちゃんは旅人だったんだ。でも二人とも数年前バーニャの村に立ち寄った時。
Number 1.
そう、つまり目的は世界征服。ノーアルタカは爪を隠すというが、我々はそうではない。爪を隠さないタカとして奪うものは全て奪い、この世界のトップに立ち、人類を正しい未来へと導いていくのだ。
Blasting into our final spot, we have Shigeo Kageyama from Mob Psycho 100. Shigeo Kageyama is as normal a boy as you can get. No girlfriend, no friends, and has a difficulty managing his emotions. He's pretty much a younger version of me. At least he has psychic powers that put him in par with pretty much the strongest heroes you can imagine. Using his abilities to exorcise spirits, he is also more than capable of doing whatever he wants to both normal and enhanced humans. Mob is capable of detecting psychic energy from other espers like him and spirits, floating things around with telekinesis, and even absorbing psychic energy. Now, while that last bit doesn't sound too powerful, it pretty much means he's a black hole of energy, and no other Esper in his universe is capable of standing up to him due to this fact. It all comes at a price though, as his power levels are tied to his emotional stability. The more he's going through, the stronger he becomes. That's what I thought too growing up, so you better not mess around with this middle schooler unless you want to find out. In the end of the day though, Shigeo has no interest in bending spoons or bad guys, and that's for the best, I think. But with great power does come great responsibility. So it's a good thing Reigen is there to lead the way to young Shigeo. Hopefully. And that's all for this episode of Heroics and Nasty Powers. And hey, if you're at all touched by how these heroes choose the path of good, consider being a hero yourself and giving us a super thanks for this video. But in any case, thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment with your thoughts, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time.